Hello everybody, this is the Scarlet Troll, and as you can see, I'm switching up the format a little bit by going back to looking into a camera like I did way back when during the before times. Hopefully this will make it a little bit easier to edit in the back end, but also gives me an excuse to bring back the hat. And I love this hat. Look at it. It's so poofy. For wordplay reasons, it's actually weirdly fitting that this is the video where I go back to slapping my face on these things, because today I'm going to be reviewing Faces of Death, a remake of the 1978 exploitation film. Directed by... Wait. Did I inflict a self-burn back there? Because it kinda sounds like I'm saying I have a face of death. Directed by Daniel Goldhaber, with a script co-written by Issa Matse. I am so sorry about my pronunciation, but I mean, at this point, y'all know I'm bad at it, right? This is known? Known fact? Cool. Yeah, sorry again. The remake switches out the documentary-esque staging of the original movie for a more straightforward horror-driven approach, and at this point I feel like I should mention that I've never actually seen the original, because even though I know most of it is fake, I'm not 100% sure I have the stomach for the parts that apparently aren't. Just figured it was important to mention that before getting into my opinion on the remake. Anyways, Barbie Ferreira plays Margot, a content moderator for a social media site that is definitely not TikTok. And it's a pretty stressful job, considering that she spends all day looking through reported content to see what might violate site policy, and potential offenders range from harmless, to annoying, to distressing, to outright traumatizing. And when she stumbles on a series of what looks to be real murders committed on video and attempts to escalate it to her superiors at work with no success, Margot launches an investigation of her own that leads to the chilling realization that someone is remaking the original Faces of Death, albeit much more realistically. Yeah, this is one of those remakes that treats the original as a work of fiction in the remake, which I'm ordinarily not a fan of, but in this case it works because the new Faces of Death isn't especially interested in reverently idolizing the original, or in taking sardonic jabs at it to the point where you know they only remade it for name recognition, a trap that a lot of remakes tend to fall into. Honestly, this is a lot closer to the kind of meta horror that I continuously wish the Scream franchise had the balls to do. And maybe they did in 7, I don't know, I didn't watch it, but like, if they hadn't done it by 6, I'm not especially optimistic, you know? Getting back to Faces of Death, Ferreira does a great job as Margot, whose complicated relationship with online media puts her in a position where, even as she makes obvious and frustrating mistakes throughout the movie, you still find her position understandable and relatable. But the real standout performance goes to Dacre Montgomery as the villain, which sounds like a spoiler, but this movie isn't actually interested in keeping you guessing as to who the villain is. The big mystery of the movie, especially as his story unfolds alongside Margot's, isn't a question of who, but why, and the ultimate answer we get, well, I'm not gonna give it away, but honestly, it's kind of fucking perfect. Faces of Death 2026 is a movie where the main danger isn't the murderer prowling around, it's the collective apathy and resignation of people. The usual frustrating horror movie tropes of unhelpful cops and useless work bosses aren't played with at all. Instead, they're played completely straight, with a kind of mundanity that has you nodding along thinking, yeah, that tracks. The bored detachment with which people engage with other people's lives and even deaths on sites like TikTok and Instagram is on full display here, and the movie does not shy away from pointing out our own culpability in turning these sites into the same kind of short-form, algorithm-pleasing, brain-rotting content machines that they become. After all, they wouldn't be making it if we weren't watching it. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, by the way. And our contradictory standards regarding acceptability have created a paradoxical hellscape in which potentially life-saving information is considered a content violation because it mentions drug use, whereas you can post a video of a woman falling onto a car from a significant height, and as long as she lives, content policy says that's A-okay. To say nothing of the President of the United States sharing a video of a woman being graphically and brutally murdered, and I know that's not part of the movie, but it definitely feels culturally relevant, and holy shit! How does he keep getting away with this? I mean, don't just take my word for it. Feel free, by all means, look it up, but just brace yourself, because, I mean, it's an actual murder video. I'm not kidding. Sorry. Got lost in the dystopia of it all for a second there. Back to the point at hand, I put Faces of Death 2026 in the a very good movie tier, and if you're the slightest bit interested in horror movies, I definitely recommend it. Admittedly, it's a little more suspenseful than scary, but in my opinion, what it lacks in outright scares, it makes up for in its critique of hypocrisy of content standards, the overall harmful long-term effects of constant short-form media content engagement, and, to a lesser extent, the ease with which certain people in specific employment sectors can get a hold of your personal information. Speaking of, this video was sponsored by absolutely nobody, because I have nowhere near the subscriber count that it would take for potential sponsors to feel like reaching out. So hey, maybe like, comment, subscribe, and then someday I too can have intrusive ad breaks for you to awkwardly click around. Wait, that's not much of an incentive at all, is it? No, please, just like, comment, subscribe anyway. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching!